when we teach in the class, because whatever happens in the class, whatever the situations are happening in the class, the teachers are the first platform where the children are observing the skills of the teachers, the ethics of the teachers, the way teachers speak, the way teachers relationships are, the management is having a relationship with each other. That is where ethics and integrity in education is missing, and this is the first time that this topic has been introduced in IDYM to the session number 27, NEP series 2022. I would like to invite my dear Indira Nithyananda ma'am for her amazing introspection on this wonderful topic. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Sonal, and your entire team. It's been an exciting journey of now 27 days, as you just pointed out, and the amazing range of topics that you are able to think of, pick up, have speakers participate. I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And as somebody said, a journey is not about the route you take. It's not about the destination. More importantly, it's about who you're traveling with. And I think we're all traveling together. I'm not as regular as I should be, but I try to be in as often as I can. And I'm so happy to be talking today about ethics and integrity. I have sort of looked at one aspect of that, and that I would like to call, Trishanki, if I could have my first slide, please.
Ma'am, is visible? I have shared the slide.
Yes.
The earlier one, the title, Trishanki, if you can. If you can't, no problem. Okay.
Ma'am, there are 4 slides, so I have.
I know, Trishanki, but the earlier one.
Okay. Ma'am, just.
No problem at all. So what I'm trying to look at is one aspect of ethics. And that is, I'm saying that our minds are so shackled. What we first need to do is to get out of this. How do you? Yeah, thank you, Trishanki.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have called it, I want to begin by talking about, before I really reach the stage of ethics, I want to talk about how we are shackled, how we are bound, how we are imprisoned by our own idea of traditions. And these traditions have probably stopped the growth, both of the teacher, and because it has stopped the growth of the teacher, I think in some way it is impeding. It's causing a kind of an obstacle, a speed breaker, if you will, to the progress, to the growth, to the development of the child. So I'd like to begin by talking about the traditional approaches that we have had. Why is it that we are not able to reach that ethics in education, in teaching, the integrity that is required of a teacher? Sonal just pointed out that the teacher is very important. And see, we all have, at different stages, looked up to our teachers in different ways. Many of us would remember the first teacher in nursery, maybe, and she was God. You know, teacher ne keh diya to keh diya, right? You can't look beyond that. So from there to the stage where the students have begun to question us because we are probably failing in giving them what we should be giving. Okay, because remember, the group is, we are trying to ignite young minds. We need that ignition. So I am worried about some of the approaches that we have heard earlier, which I have called, first I've listed them and I've got images for you. I've called it teacher-centric. We always talked about the teacher. It took us a long, long time, particularly in India, to realize that the teacher is not important as the taught. So what are we doing now from teacher-centric? We are trying to move to becoming student-centric. Look at my first image in the traditional approaches. How bored the students are. You might recollect your own days when you said, oh my God, not again, about a particular teacher, maybe about a particular subject. And remember, it is the teacher who either kills or helps grow our love for a subject. I love a subject because of the way the teacher taught it. And then we go on to the strictness. You remember the earlier idea, spare the rod and spoil the child. Not anymore. We don't believe in any kind of physical punishment. not even at home, remember, far away from the school. Books are piled on the table. So all that the child thinks it needs to do is to pick up a book, maybe learn by rote. We don't look at the possibility of understanding at all. So what happens? What is it that we need to break out of, that we have to get ourselves free from? I'm talking as a teacher, and as all of us here, most of us here are teachers. What do we need to do? We need to get out of this. And this is an ethical question. How do I teach? What do I teach? Do I need to think differently? Do I need to look at things differently? And so if we could go on to the next slide, Krishnaki, please. I'm suggesting that we need to move away from this traditional approach. And as teachers, we need to understand that this is important. And therefore, I'm suggesting that the present scenario towards which we are moving, and I've called it the newer horizons. The horizon is something which beckons you because you can never reach the horizon. Never stop, never pause. Go on with your quest for knowledge. I'm not going to take time because we are all time bound. We have other speakers that we need to listen to. But I'm sure you know how we move from information to knowledge to wisdom, right? That is a growth that first as teachers we should be able to. And then from there, we move on to passing it. It is my ethical duty. I'm duty bound to move from information to knowledge to wisdom. So, and that is why I have a picture for you of the sky, of the sun, of the rising sun. Look at that. Teach our children to look around us, to look at the beauty of nature. And I think there's so much we can learn from nature every minute of the day. Don't say the sun rises every day, but I think the sun rising every day is a different picture. Teach the child to appreciate the beauty. And when I say child, it can be a child of 20, doesn't matter. But when they look up to you, I think we should be duty bound to teach them to appreciate that beauty. The second duty, I think, of every teacher is to realize, to understand, to pass on, to promulgate, to propagate the idea that doing is learning. All of us realize by the time we are in 6th or 7th standard, we are taken to the laboratory, right? And this laboratory is usually associated only with what we call the science subjects. So you probably have a zoology, biology, chemistry, physics. We have these labs. But I'm looking at the possibility of a sociology lab. I'm looking at the possibility of an economics lab, of a geography lab, of a history lab. Don't you think if I can see a picture of, let us say, for example, let's say Hampi, the great Vijayanagar Empire, Krishnadeva Raya, they are just names for our students. Should I not be able to have in my classroom or in schools or colleges where it's possible and we have a separate room to which we can take our students, use technology to help them see that? So I'm looking at the possibility of labs. Remember, we don't call economics and sociology and philosophy and all that anymore as art subjects or humanities subjects. We call them the social sciences, right? They also have. So let's do that. Let's take our children and let them touch, let them feel. So can I have a model of what? Of the Qutub Minar, of a temple, of a Chidambaram temple maybe, or of the Hampi, or I mean, you can think of ever so many. Just India, I can give you so many examples, and think of the world. So allow the child to touch, to feel, so that it is nearer to you, right? Listening is only one part of the game, is only one part of education. Can we take our children out? Can we take our students out? Can we have field trips, right? So now I live in Ahmedabad. There are certain places, 40 kilometers away from Ahmedabad is one of our Indus Valley sites. It's called Lothal. It's just 40 kilometers away. Yes, it means planning, it means money, it means a bus, it means all that. But if I really want to do it as a teacher of history, maybe, archaeology, maybe, there is so much to be learned when you see something. So I'm suggesting take your children. I am linking all this to the idea of one, breaking away from our time-bound ideas of what education is, of what teaching is. And at the same time, I'm also insisting that only if the teacher is ethically bound by her idea of doing something good for the student, will this happen? Will it be possible? Another image that I have, you can see that the kids are raising their hands. You know how it was earlier? We were on a platform. We were a little higher. We were on a dais. And we stood there and we looked down at the students and spoke to them. Not anymore. It is our duty to make our classes interactive. And for somebody like me who started teaching about 50 years ago, if you wanted information, you had to go to the library, you had to pick up an encyclopedia, you had to look at the index, you had to find it. All that is gone, my dear friends. Today, one click of their finger and they have the information. It was easier, I'm sorry to be saying it, but it was easier for us to bluff in an earlier generation. Not anymore, because our students have the ability, the chance to reach the same information that you probably have not collected. So I think it's very important. It's a duty of every teacher to encourage a kind of interactive session. Very, very important. And needless to say, the concept of a project, of working together, of collecting information, of putting it in because I'm not looking at it as only subject teaching, my dear friends. I'm also looking at it as a part of your personality development. What do we learn when we work on a project together, when we do teamwork? It can be any subject under the sun. Please don't say it's not possible in statistics. Of course, it's possible even in what I think is a dry subject. I'm sure many of you would disagree, but I've been a literature student all through, a social science student. So to me, statistics or accountancy seems boring, but it's not. If you are a teacher of accountancy, of statistics, or whatever, think of the possibility of getting your students to work together. And my dear friends, this is possible at any age, right from a 5-year-old. If some of us are teaching nursery classes or class 1, we can begin there. Because personality development, I think probably begins when you're in the womb. When the child is in the womb, it's already listening. We have stories in mythology. They are already listening. Having said all that, I want us as teachers to convey this to our students also, a certain pride in being what you are. I want to say that again, and I want to say it in such a way that it gets across in the meaning in which I want it to be understood. Sorry, I'm sounding like a dictator here, but because I'm speaking, I want to say this to you. And what is that? A pride in your identity. I'm not saying being an Indian is the best in the world, but being an Indian is the best for me. My parents are the best for me. My school is the best for me. My history is the best for me. I want us to understand that pride in identity. And in order to do that, I've just had a little idea about what the Gurukul meant. Because some of the ideas that I've been sharing with you probably was there already in the Gurukul, because you did things. Remember, you stayed. And that is why I think hostel life is fantastic, because kids learn so much when they are in hostel. And most important is to be independent, is to be self-dependent, not saying, Mummy, mera handkerchief kahan hai? You have to go and find your handkerchief. I think all this, so you learn, as you live, you learn to cooperate, you learn to collaborate maybe, right? And that is why I just thought the Gurukul as a system. I'm not saying that you should all have, what are they called? What the Brahmin has here. I'm not suggesting that a Gurukul means that. I'm not suggesting that a Gurukul means dhoti. I'm not suggesting a Gurukul is only for boys, for Brahmins. I'm not saying all that. I'm only thinking of the concept of Gurukul. So I am at that stage. And Sonal, you have to tell me when I should stop. 2 minutes before when I should stop.
Ma'am, should I change the slide? Like, should I
Continue, ma'am.
Trishnaki, you can just stop my PPT.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I don't need now.
You have 10 minutes, ma'am. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. So what I've been doing so far is giving you an idea of how we need to break out of, we teachers, we tend to get fossilized. Tell me, how often you have heard somebody tell you about a teacher, your senior saying, now she'll crack that joke. Or, now that will be the example she will give. I think that's the worst thing a teacher can do. We have to avoid the possibility, the danger of getting fossilized. Because remember, in front of us are these young minds. They're not files. They are live. They are putty in your hands, waiting. And I think the best thing that a teacher can get is the bright eyes that you see. When I enter a classroom, and which I missed over the last 2 years, when I was talking to that screen and seeing only my face, right? What I really missed was when I walk into a classroom, the bright eyes that greet me, the curiosity to learn something more. Remember, we get instant feedback when we enter a classroom, right? And I think that is our energy. That is what the battery gets charged within us. So it's important that when we go to a class, I'm talking about ethics. Ethics is not only morals. Ethics is not only values. Ethics is how you live. And remember, as we say, practice is better than precept. For example, if I go late to every class, if I'm shabbily dressed, how can I talk to my students about punctuality? How can I talk to my students about tidiness? I'm not saying that you have to have makeup or that you have to the best clothes, from boutiques. And I'm not saying that at all. You can be simple. I wear a sari when I go to work, for example. I can be a simple cotton sari, but everything is in place. And remember, there are some teachers who are always pushing their hair behind. And the students will count how many times you have pushed your hair behind. It has probably become a mannerism with you. But the kids then are not listening to you. And that dare that kids do. So they're saying, aaj to 10 baar karegi. Aur dusra bolta hai, nahi, 12 baar to karegi. So then they're not interested in what you're teaching. They get more interested in that particular mannerism that we are. So let's remember that we should not be dinning information into our kids. Not even dinning ideas. Because today, in this globalized world, we are beginning that there is no single truth. There are many ways of looking at truth. Remember, we talk about truths. Earlier, we might have said truth is an uncountable noun. I'm a teacher of English language and literature. So I would say countable noun, uncountable noun. Truth is uncountable. But today we are saying it's possible to talk about truths. If you understand what I'm saying. So don't tell kids, this is it and nothing more. Don't say that. Allow them to find their own meaning. And they will appreciate that, maybe not today, but 20 years later, when they look back on the people who have made them what they are today. I think you will be one of them on that list. I'm not saying we are doing it for that. But I think it's our duty to our students to be able to do that. Don't tell them what to look at. Tell them how to look at something, right? I tell my students, don't wear blinkers, right? I'll see only this and I won't see anything else. Don't do that. Remember, you need to keep the windows of your mind open so that fresh air comes in all the time, right? You need to do that. So we have to teach our kids how to see, not what to see. Because once you tell them what to see, you're telling them there's only one truth. You're saying this is the only way. And that's not true. In this, what we call this globalized village that we live in, there's so many streams of thought coming in. Let them come. Let them come in. Let them. I'm thinking of Pontius Pilate. I'm talking of 2,000 years ago, who is supposed, and this is a quote, "What is truth?" asked Pontius Pilate, and walked away without waiting for an answer, because nobody can give you an answer about what is truth. Allow the children to be free. Allow them to be your equal in that sense, because only then can real learning take place. They should feel free to express an opinion. Of course, at the same time, you have to make it clear that you are the boss, in the sense that they can't take you for granted. They can't fool around. But if there is a discussion, and I sometimes find it very inspiring when a child honestly says, "Ma'am, can we talk about something else today?" I see no harm in that. There is a syllabus, there is an examination, there's a principal probably on her rounds, all this could happen. But when a student has that freedom to talk to you and say, "Ma'am, can we do something else?" So I don't mind. And I say, "Shall we play a word game? Would somebody like to talk about the latest movie that they saw?" Why not? Because everything in life is there for us to learn something from it, right? Of course, you have to make sure that we don't go off totally on tangents. And there are certain topics that I would never encourage in my class. Even though I teach 20-year-olds, I'll say no politics. Because the moment we get into politics, there's bound to be that, differences and you, me, right, wrong. So I don't want to do all that. We can talk about issues, but we can't talk about politics, in the sense that we can't talk about parties. We can't bring in, today, I would say, we can't bring in communal issues, because in our class, there are people from various communities, from various religions, maybe from various races, from various parts of our country. So we have to be very, very careful about that. Sonal, if you ask me to speak for 2 hours, I can do that. But I know we have 4 speakers listed up.
No, I will be calling you again and again. Don't worry. There are questions also to be asked. So your answers will be related to the questions also. So don't worry, ma'am. So you just complete your speaking for another 2 minutes. Yeah.
So the other thing that I think is very important is, as teachers, we don't have much of an opportunity in curriculum framing, right? In deciding on the books. I hope India will reach a stage. Some of our autonomous colleges are already doing it. But I hope more and more of us teachers have this chance of designing our own course. We keep in mind what the college wants, what the university wants. But within that, I'm sure it's possible to have our own course. Think of the curriculum, think of the syllabus, think of the books that I want to teach, the topics that I want to, how I want to examine, assess my students, etc., etc. All this, I think, should be related to the first step of getting the kids to not think of exams as being some kind of a Rakshas and Asura, right, who has to somehow be defeated. Let's not do that. And to me, the worst thing is when a child says, "But wo to exam mein nahi aayega. Wo to exam mein nahi aayega." Because let's make learning, teaching a part of growing up. And to make that possible, I think we as teachers must set up very, very high standards. Thank you so much, Sonal. And
Wonderful.
on to the next speaker.
Yeah, wonderful, ma'am. I think you have spoken the real core issues of the ethics. And normally what the people have the perception of ethics is to be well-groomed, to present yourself up to mark, to be appealing to others. But when you are coming in front of 40 to 50 children in a class, you are presenting yourself in front of the staff and everything. What is ethics? Your accountability for ethics has to be how your personality speaks. And your personality is not only about your clothes. Your personality is not about your makeup. Your personality is not about what brands you wear. It is all about the way you conduct yourself in the class, so that the teachers of, I think, the children of today are going to see the same thing and imbibe those kind of skills. If you are going to gossip in front of the 4 teachers, the children will observe you and say, "Oh my God, my teacher is always gossiping about other teachers. What am I going to learn over here?" So we have to shift this system of being more productive and staying away from that zone where we don't discuss the unproductive issues, which are not required in the teaching fraternity, which are not required in our education system. So as you said, sorry, as you said about the Gurukul system, so what do you think, ma'am, in this today's age, what we most of the educators are calling the 21st century life skills age? Do you think any of the Guru school skill has been imbibed by the educators of today to make the next generation of learners more better, more skillful, more resourceful? Over to you,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, Sonal. We need not go to a Gurukul to imbibe some of those qualities that you're talking about. But I think when the student respects the teacher for what she is, what she stands for, I think we are, in a sense, taking forward the idea of the Gurukul. Because are we gurus or are we tutors? Are we teachers? You know, this question. A guru is far superior to an ordinary tutor, to an ordinary teacher. Because I think a guru has a vision, Sonal. And so if some of us are able to do that, I think it's wonderful. So we've brought that. Also, I think the importance of contributing to your surroundings. Today, we talk about ecology and environment and all that. But remember, that's what they did when they watered the plants in the backyard of the school, of the Gurukul. That's what they did. So when I teach my students to respect their surroundings, I think I've got that idea from the Gurukul of yore. I hope
Yes.
that answers your question.
Yes, exactly. But, ma'am, do you think the skills are being transmitted towards students? Do you think in any way, to be very honest and frank, ma'am, even if it is a negative also, we will appreciate that negative answer because a lot is missing. A lot is missing.
Yes, we have now started looking at the importance of skill. And the greatest problem that we face as teachers, I've been a principal also, is we face is when the industry comes and says they lack employability. They know their subject, but they lack employability. And Sonal, you'd agree with me there. What skill do they lack? They lack the skill of communication, right? So I'm very good at physics, but you ask me a question and I'm not able to answer it, right? Not because I'm nervous, not because I don't know, but because I've not developed the communication skill. If you want me to give you an answer in 10 words, I should be able to do it. If you ask me to answer in 100 words, I should be able to do it, right? That is the skill that we need to develop. So also many other skills. But the first skill I think that we have to insist that our kids develop is the skill of communication. Language is not important, Sonal. Speaking Gujarati, Punjabi, Hindi, English, Telugu, Tamil, doesn't matter. But you should be able to put your ideas across.
Yes, very true, very true. That is why I think from words of wisdom from what you call septuagenarian, I will say wonderful words of wisdom that gives us what is missing in today's generation, because it's better to always keep learning from people of old age, olden school system, and we can blend those kind of skills in today's academic and lesson plan to create better learners for tomorrow. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful inputs.
Thank you.
I will be calling you back again, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Before I go to the next speaker, I would like to highlight is why is ethics important in education? Ethics in education helps run the system smoothly. It sets standards that are applicable and protects the interests of both the learner and the teacher together. Teachers are responsible to help develop the personality of the students and act as a mentor to them to influence them, their development and behavior. So this is what ethics has to be. It's not about clothes. It's not about your brands. It's not about your appearance. It's about the way you conduct. It's about the way you portray yourself as a, when you call yourself the 21st century educator, these have to be totally ingrained in your teaching module. So over to my next speaker, I think I would like to invite Ms. Siddhi Joshi, Ms. Siddhi Jore for the insightful interpretation of ethics over here. Are you there, ma'am? Siddhi, ma'am? I will request Ravi sir to please tell me, is Siddhi ma'am there? Okay, I will go forward to my third speaker, that is Amujuri Viswanath sir. Are you there? I think both of them not joined the session today. Amujuri Viswanath sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Am I audible?
Take the privilege. Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It is
So
great. Am I visual?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
absolutely.
It is great honor to take part wonderful and knowledgeable webinar on national education policy, special topic on ethics and integrity in education system, which is organized by Igniting Dreams of Young Minds Foundation India. First of all, I convey my best wishes and love from my side. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to one and all across the world who are watching wonderful webinar. And my convey gratitude for my beloved brother, Engineer Ravi Shankar sir, and today's moderator Sonal ma'am for providing me as a guest speaker on this topic to share my small views regarding for and exchanging the knowledge. Today's topic is ethics and integrity in education system. We know very well in education system, being as educator, I am a teacher, educationist. I'm working in Asthavida Mandir English Medium School, which is located in Dantewada, Chhattisgarh. I am working as a PGT mathematics. Being as a teacher, I know what are the ethics and what are the integrity platforms to balance an ecological system of education. First of all, we have to know what are the ethical principles and integral principles in education system. Across the globe, we are teaching in different environmental aspects, but in India, not nowadays, from ancient age, we have some special education system like Gurukulas education system, the relation between Guru and Shishya, just like in Hindi language, Guru Shishya Parampara. So it was good and great knowledge exchange platform where people have learned their all the education in a particular place in a just like a Gurukula. Nowadays, they are converted into the residential based education system in modern education. However, the India has very lot and great teachers, gurus who provided wonderful knowledge based system and who created the great knowledgeable atmosphere in India. So many learners and teachers are following same pattern of ethics and principles and integral systems in education. Little bit of changes are there. How we are acquiring the knowledge, how we are teaching, how we are dealing a different education system in modern education. From ancient to today's modern education system, there are many changes and many challenges also. Different in geographical and social or economical conditions. Since 2019, starting last of the 19 and starting of the 2020, we faced a lot of problems due to the pandemic of COVID-19. In that period also, we learned many things and we faced many problems due to the COVID-19. However, we didn't stop the education system, even though in the such a terrible and pandemic situation. Every teacher, every teacher, not only teacher, but also who are working in the field of teaching, as a teacher, as an educator, as a district level or as a state level, national officers who are working in the field of education system, all officials, persons are worked in this time of the pandemic situation. They did not stop their works, their principles in the education system, even though facing the very vast challenge in the COVID-19. So different principles. I think so many people will know very good aware about the principles and ethics and integrity. Among them, so many aspects in education system, especially first of all is discipline. Discipline is most important ethics in education system. We should follow all the disciplinary actions, not only from the as student life, but also in the teacher life also. The discipline maintains, discipline creates a good quality of platform to acquire the knowledge and to make the wonderful relationship between student and teacher or student and society, student and institution. Discipline helps the all the system in the social or economical or as a education system. Next is very wonderful thing, honest. We have to show where we should follow the honest and truthful sense to deal everything in the education system. Another thing is punctuality or time sense. We have to follow the time sense. In modern education system, there are different like biometric aspects to make the punctuality of like attendance in education and institutions for both employees, teachers, and students. But when we discuss about that in Gurukulas education system, how they did on how they managed in time punctuality. So in this education system, time punctuality also is most important to keep and to set all the aspect on all the activities regarding the education. The fourth one is hard work, sense of interest. Apart from the discipline, apart from the punctuality, apart from the honest, we have to show our hard work with sincere, otherwise or interest, otherwise we can't do anything. If we have interest, some interest to do something, what should I do? What should I achieve? What should I show in front of my students or in front of our learners? So interest is most important thing to do something or to do or to follow to start something else. And integrity in education system, which explains different environmental aspects, different correlation between education and teacher and people and the organization level. Both ethics and integrity aspects are same, but there are different small differences between them. There are different concepts of integrity like different characteristics, integrities, responsibilities, accountability, and respect toward the work, respect toward the organization, and sincerity. All these things are all same like as a ethics, but small difference between ethics and integrity. Integrity, which provides the practice of strong moral values and ethical principles, to which one adheres. Someone who neither has moral principles nor abides by ethical values, which is considered to lack of integrity, then it goes to opposite of integrity. To develop the integrity system or to the integrity qualities, what should we do? What can I do? As from singular to plural. First of all, we have as a singular, what can I? Then we can do as a together, we. Before start any work, we have to, as a individual to group, to follow some principles of integrity. Integrity, which can use to describe or it describes a person's level of honest, moral commitments and willingness or interest to do what is right and what is wrong. We have to assume, we have to analyze what are the rights and what are the wrong things. In the most of things, we are taking different divergent ways to take or to deal or to face the challenges. In this regard, we have to take right decision. This integrity aspect in education system tells us to what are the good aspects and good pathways or good footprints in the education system. When we go like when we reach in the just like for example in junction where we can't decide what is the right way, what is the wrong pathway. Sometimes we face, sometimes we go in a wrong way, but we have to divert into the right way. In this situation, we have to follow all the principles of ethics or ethical principles and integrity principles in education system. Then only we can achieve the right way, right things at a bright future. So we have to follow the characteristics of integrity and ethical principles from individual to the organization levels. Individuals with integrity are correlated to the organizational. People with integrity always keep their word or upstanding from the different aspects, wrong situations, or perhaps facing the problems. Just like, for example, in working place, excuse me, or what to forgive. So all these things should not acquire by the individual system. Then only we can go forward. Then only we can follow the some characteristics of integrity. However, we are facing many problems, but we have to follow some right way principles of ethics and integrity. These two words are very close to each other, but when we think in a particular way, what is integrity and what is ethics, then only we can describe how they are different from each other. Sometimes we discuss, sometimes we follow the same principles in the same platforms of ethics and integrity, but principles of ethics or educational ethics, which deals the integrity system, that changes from time to time, and that changes from environment to environment, from like a geographical particular areas, or either a social or other economical environment. So it deals all these things of integrity and ethical principles of education system. Government of India, which introduced in 2020 as a national education policy, which provides the wonderful platform and wonderful guidelines to follow the ethics and integrity education system, to collaborate individual to organizational or organization to organization, or either in the educational platforms, or either social or organizational platforms, to build to boom a new education system through the national education policy, to provide the all education to all, or education, that means to provide free of cost, or either some easy way process to education to all people. So different policies and different laws changes the different ethical and integrated principles day by day. That depends on the situation, or depends on the different environment, how we are facing the problems, how we are managing the challenges to acquire the new things, to innovate, or to set up the new education system in particular circumstances. However, being as a teacher, being as a educationist, I follow all the ethics and integrity, and everyone should follow ethics and integrity principles, particularly what I said recent, four principles or different integrities in education system. Then only we can achieve, then only we can create such a wonderful education system environment to provide wonderful relations between students and teachers, to gearing of the education system. In this regarding, I stop my speech, and I convey my gratitude, Sonal ma'am, for handling all the NEP webinar series, and providing wonderful opportunity, my beloved brother Ravi Shankar sir, to create such a wonderful platform to just a knowledge exchange program, because in around across the globe, so many people and different people has have different knowledge. However, I'm telling in new point, or I'm also learning in front of the different people. So I thankful to very much from my bottom of heart to my beloved brother Ravi Shankar sir, to provide a wonderful platform, either in NEP or either in a different educational webinars and conferences, through the unite such a wonderful, tremendous working personalities in front of the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It was indeed a pleasure to hear from you, because you being in the core fraternity of the education system, your experience has spoken volumes about what is happening and what has to be changed and what needs to be continued, because you have that real experience of witnessing the teachers on the forefront during the pandemic, of the pandemic, what were the shortcomings they faced, and how certain areas could be highlighted considering the problems of the teachers also. So thank you so much, sir. Um, Before I go to my last speaker, that is Siddhi Jury, ma'am, are you there? For one final call for you? I think she hasn't joined yet. So before I start my talk on this, I would like to have Iman ma'am to speak a few lines on this topic, ma'am. Please welcome.
Hello, my dear sister, I am coming. Sister, please start. I'll be after you, okay?
Okay, you want me to be after me? Okay. So here I go with my talk for the session of today. That is, what are the four principles of ethics in education? The core of teaching consists of four basic values: dignity, truthfulness, fairness, responsibility, and freedom. All teaching is founded on ethics, whether be the teacher-student relationship, pluralism, or teacher relationship with their work. What type of education is ethics and values? Moral education is often focused on learning about belief systems, value systems, and practices of other traditions and viewpoints. To explore them and develop understanding and respect of them, particularly from the perspective of how they affect their action and how they can peacefully coexist. Putting students first. Teachers must model strong character traits, including perseverance, honesty, respect, lawfulness, fairness, patience, and unity. As an educator, teachers must treat every student with kindness and respect without showing any favoritism, which is existing a lot today. A lot of favoritism is existing today, which is not healthy for the education system. Prejudice and partiality. What are the ethical natures of the teaching profession? Teachers should be motivated by a universal respect for human life and also be guided by principles of caring. In fact, teachers have a fiduciary duty to act in a way that is in the best interest of their students. Teachers stand in a fiduciary position in relationship to their students. So, what I have seen in my years of experience, I would like to just narrate some of this. There are some teachers who fail to understand how responsible their job is. The word responsible has to be ingrained into their system. It's not just a time pass, or it is not playing with the future of the learners. You are building the foundation for the learners. You are building the foundational core basic foundation for teachers to become, for the students to become excellent learners in higher life. So they fail to keep pace with every unique child's abilities and pick up capabilities. They just depend on the textbook learning rather than teaching them the basics. In fact, a majority of students who have reached 10 grades are not even capable enough to master the languages. This is what my experience has been. Are not capable enough to master the languages who are in the government schools. Shocking, is it? This means the teachers employed to teach the basics are not capable and up to mark or lacking in some learning outcome productivity. The outcome productivity is not necessary to be only on academics. It has to be ethics ingrained along with the academics. There are some teachers who are spoiling kids by entertaining them while teaching them, pampering them to an extent that they have to bear with them and their indisciplined behavior. Please change their indisciplined behavior. You have the full right to do so. The only good thing that happens in both children and the parents is that they both love you. The parents of the children also love you. The children also love you. And remember you for what you as teachers are. That's the incentive we all educators get for being ourselves, for being kind, for being an understanding person, for understanding both children and parents' problems and solving them with outcome in great health. Lifelong learning preserves an individual desire to obtain new knowledge outside of the formal education system. Developing an attitude where you constantly learn is the only way to succeed in the dynamic environment which we live in today. So, the 10 simple ways to engage in lifelong learning is: number one, read wisely and often. Keep reading yourself, keep yourself updated with what is happening, change your old system, invent new system, blend the new technologies. Keep smart company. Always keep a healthy company with you. If you feel you are not healthy in a particular company that is affecting your productivity in the class, just leave yourself away from it. Teach and empower others on the right way. Whatever I've seen in my 25 years of career is that most of the teachers who are always running for the rat race position, who want to come on the top of the ladder, they try to manipulate in such a way, they try to misguide the freshers in such a way that the freshers who want to learn more better skills are washed or brainwashed into certain way that this is how the education system works. So we have to totally shift this system, start guiding others, start guiding the freshers on a very right track. Keep a list of things you want to explore. Start your own project. Use a personal learning environment, that is PLE. Experiment with new ways to learn. Join a study group. Find a job that encourages learning and collaboration together. Make it a priority. There is so much technology at your fingertips which you can take advantage of to help you learn throughout your teaching career. We can follow our passion for languages, improve our craft skills, and even develop a mobile app using resources you can find online. Teaching others what you know will also help to ensure that you really understand something. It's a real test of your knowledge. So it may even help to understand the characteristics of lifelong learning, including curiosity, creativity, initiative, perseverance, and perfectionism, among other habits. So before you jump right into an area, spend some time researching topics and keeping notes. Once you have developed a list, then you can decide what best option you need to follow to become the best version of yourself first. If you are a teacher, encourage the students to plan out their own creation story with their imagination and learning outcomes. This will help them to cultivate an idea of how they will be able to follow this process in their higher years, which could be applied to various learning stages. So that is what is it, observations and all. And lastly, I would like to conclude is that the education industry is interneted for the aiding growth of the present generation, tendering them as a boon for a great future of the country. The disruption to this white nice hamper the national ladder of growth. Therefore, an eagle's view in this context is essential. As 65% of India's population resides in rural areas, there are top 7 skills that the government school teachers lack, and we all lack. Everybody has to polish their skills in beautiful ways, and that is what ethics and integrity is. Integrity is not about being right all the time. Integrity is not about being true to others. How you're implementing, what you're preaching, what you're practicing, what you're talking, you have to start walking the talk model. That is what about ethics and integrity is. Because most of the teachers just preach. जब अपने ऊपर करने पे आता है, then they back out. So that is not the way we should function. Whatever you're talking, start implementing, start doing right away. That is what ethics and integrity is. Over to you, Iman ma'am.
Yes, my dear sister, I'm very happy to hear from your side. I know you will deliver a great lecture. Thanks for your valuable knowledge. Let's talk again about ethics, but I'll highlight higher education and postgraduate stage. We need to encourage our students to be clever people, to be kind people. Clear hearts are related to clever minds. So we need to encourage them to be kind people, and also sorry, I need to adjust something as a host. So sorry. Yes, I'm coming. Okay. Yes. We need to encourage them to be carrying all good behaviors, like being kind people, having forgiveness characters, and also acceptance attitudes, and so on. Regarding higher education, many lecturers and professors are ignoring the issue of motivation because they are saying that they are not young, so no need to motivation or awarding them and something like this. However, any people carrying inside him or her a kid. So all of us in a real need to be encouraged and to be motivated. So all teachers at all levels in a real need to encourage students and motivate them. As we said before about NEB, it's based on ethos, and also it's based on the Indian culture and how to protect it from any destroy and something like this. So education must highlight the issue of ethics. We can't isolate education from ethics because isolating education from ethics, it means that we are destroying education itself. Also, regarding the postgraduates and undergraduate students, we need to learn them the relation between science and diplomacy, how to be scientific diplomacy. We need to inform them that they are reflecting their religion, their countries, and their continents. They are also reflecting themselves. We need to inform them that they are not the best and they are not the least. So we need to appreciate ourselves in a balance of appreciating others. We need to respect the presence and the absence of others. We need to appreciate all. I can do certain things according to my country, culture, my religion, and so on. However, others can do another things according to their culture. So I must accept and appreciate. I can do certain things, but I must accept all people and all things because all people are already done. So I have no choice to accept or refuse. I must respect and appreciate. I must accept. So also regarding science and diplomacy, we need to inform them how to be great speakers, how to be polite with others, how to respect the listening ability of people, how to respect other speakers, other attendees, regarding organizers, how to show hospitality. Organizers are reflecting the ethics of their countries. I am attending conferences in different countries, so hospitality will attract more people to your country. Hospitality will make people to love your country. Being also chairperson, you need to appreciate all. You need to do the best introduction to speakers. Also, inside your paper, when you are writing a paper, for example, you need to be honest. We need to appreciate intellectual property rights of others and the copyright of others. We need to appreciate the presence and absence of others. You need to refer to the main authors of any idea. You can't neglect. We need to inform them that they must be kind, they must be honest people, they must forgive others, accept others. Also, we need to build our future by students, by informing them that they must carry the responsibility. By love and responsibility, life will be better. Because without responsibility, how can I be educator without carrying responsibility? I must be a responsible person. Some of us are delivering some lectures. However, our voices will be disappear, but we are continuing. The motor and the motivative power in this issue is the responsibility. It's the key word of all things. Also, we need to enhance them to love what they are doing, to appreciate what they are doing. If I am doing a lecture, I must appreciate all attendees. I must respect all knowledges will be received from others. I must listen to others. I must give them the floor to express themselves in a very great manner. Some people are reaching to the top. However, some of them are not accepting others in depth. Some people in love to be the first, and I'm international, and so on. No, you can be appreciated by a very, very polite manner, by acceptance of others. So the key word in this issue is how to respect, how to accept, how to be a kind person, how to forgive others, how to give others. because no one can hate givers. We are donating by our science, by our time, by our life. Time is a life. So we are donating to our students, but by our time. So I'm giving them my life. So I think I can't say no regarding anything else, because already we are giving them our lives, our health, because we are working by our health. So all educators must respect the issue, carrying it by responsibility, with appreciation and love. Also, collaboration is highly required. I am not alone in this group. So collaboration and cooperation is highly required. We need to engage them in teamwork, and we need to learn them how to appreciate others, how to be the best in your performance, but be the least in showing yourself. You can be disappeared, but your work will be appeared and visible. So don't be visible by your talk, but be visible by your work. You must be appreciated from the heart. You can't afford any people to appreciate you. It's optional according to your deeds. If your deeds will be better than your talk, all of people will appreciate you. And finally, accept love. Don't refuse anyone, because already all people are done. So we have no option to accept or to refuse. Also, be honest in your knowledge. Appreciate rights of others, copyrights, intellectual property rights. Also, we are talking about multi-intelligence. Multi-intelligence, it's very important to highlight the spiritual intelligence. It's not an issue of IQ. It's an issue of how to be satisfied from your heart. Inner satisfaction is highly required. It's not by words, it's from my heart. So we need to be satisfied. We need to accept being the second, the third. It's not an issue only to be the first. No, accept to be the second. If I am the second, but I need to be better to be the first. But it doesn't mean that I am in non-stoppable competition. We are not in a competition with others. We are in a competition with our roles, our responsibility to do it in a very great performance. So finally, appreciation to all of you, appreciation to IDYM, and also Ravi sir, Miss Donnell, Miss Jeunesse, and my lovely sister, our great moderator and great speaker, Dr. Sonel. Thanks a lot for all of you. That's all what I have. I wanted to highlight the issue of scientific diplomacy, the issue of scientific writing, ethics of scientific writing, ethics of educators. We need to appreciate all people. We need to appreciate ourselves before anything, and also we need to make others to appreciate us. So we are in a balance in our life between ourselves and others. So we can't ignore ourselves, and also we can't ignore others. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Iman ma'am, for the last minute entry over here. And that shows your passion, that shows your ethics to conduct the wonderful talk impromptu. And I think I just invited you without your permission because we wanted to hear from you also what is ethics and what are the core areas of ethics that we need to highlight upon. So thank you so much, ma'am, for the honor. Thank you. So before I go to my review for the session, I would like to call Indira Nithyananda, ma'am. Are you there, ma'am? Indira, ma'am? Indira, ma'am, are you there? Amujuri, sir, are you there? Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Before going for the final end of the session, I would like you to
Sonal, sorry, I had a little Technical
Are you-
issue, I'm very much there.
No problem, ma'am. I'll call you in 2 minutes. I'll call you back. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, Amajuri sir, I would like to ask you one advice, one message for all the educators. I will say educators, not children, because we were concentrating more on children. But this is just especially for educators. What are the core ethics that they need to imbibe now to become the best version of themselves? From me, over to you, sir.
According to my views, especially we have to follow the principles and different rules, regulations in consent to ethics and integrity in education system. First of all, disciplinary actions. And second one is responsibility or in special or particular interest as a responsible. Second one is honest and sincere. Fourth one is very passionate and friendly to the any organization or individual system. We have to go forward as a friendly nature. These four, like as a ethics or integrities, we have to follow particularly these four principles. Apart from four principles, there are many ethics and principles in education system. These are the basic need and primary platform to follow to get a and to create a good, wonderful environment in education.
Wonderful, Mahal, sir. And one more question to you, sir. What is the exact meaning of integrity?
Exact meaning of integrity is to create such a platform or to create such a environment to combine either individual or either organizational that depends on time to time or that depends on particular climate to together to combine or that should follow the educational rules, not beyond the different aspects like a gender basis or like as a any religion. We should not follow that. We have to follow to provide the knowledge or to acquire the knowledge in teaching and learning system to boom the educational aspect as a unite or as a combine as a single platform.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was wonderful hearing from you. Indira ma'am, over to you. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the both same questions are posed to you. Did you hear the question, ma'am? Should I repeat it again?
The four ethics, the four, what you consider, right? Okay, if you want me to. All right. So I think the first one is honesty to oneself. I believe honesty to oneself. Be true to yourself, then it follows as night and day. Thou canst not be false to any man. So if we can have that, admit to our, maybe to our virtues, but also to our vices, to our defects, to what we lack. So that I think would be one. Number two, I would say respect. Respect, I'd like to divide it into two. Respect for experience and respect for the rules of the country, of the society, of the family. So I think that is very, very important. The third value ethic, which I think we are losing somewhere in this mad rat race, is compassion, empathy for the not so lucky. So it could be that you are tall and handsome and somebody is short and not so good looking. You're fair, somebody is dark, you're intelligent, somebody is not intelligent. You have a good family background, money, education, etc. But there are others. And in addition to that, I would also like to add empathy for the differently abled. Somebody could be visually challenged, somebody could be crippled, somebody could have any kinds of. And yesterday we just had Mental Health Day. I think that is also very important. Just because somebody does not have the kind of IQ that you have, don't immediately say, "Arey, wo to pagal hai, wo to buddhu hai." Don't do that. Have that. And the fourth thing, I think, is to learn to respect difference, particularly between genders, between castes, between religions, between races. We are different, but we are not superior and inferior. I think it should begin with respect for the women in your family, in society. Whether you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter, but to understand that you need to respect the other. And here I'm putting the woman as the other. Is that okay, Sonal?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, Iman, ma'am, for one advice to all.
Yes, my dear sister, please don't isolate science from diplomacy, because every scientist is a diplomatic person. So we need also to highlight all issues related to ethics, especially the soul of responsibility, because without responsibility, nothing will be done. And also we need to highlight the value of love and appreciation and respect of others. We need to appreciate and respect all people and accept all people as they are. We are not creating people. We are only meeting people to be appreciated and to be respected, respected and accepted as they are. Thanks a lot for giving me the floor, for being a speaker today also inside the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Iman, ma'am. And we will always love to hear from you something different also. So for ending the session, before I end after 5 to 10 minutes, I would like to call Bedkar sir for his review of the session, plus what are his views on ethics and integrity in education. So welcome.
I am audible, madam?
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations to you and Ravi Shankar sir for conducting this type of series, which is helpful to all educators and the participants, those who are from India or abroad. So every day I am learning from all of you, reputed resource persons from all of the India and across India and out of India, abroad also I have invited, and they are presenting very satisfactory and very perfectly. Today we came at the ethics and integrity in education on this topic. I listened all the speakers' opinion. Really, our education system, education period of anyone is the workshop of our life. There are ethical practices for the students, teachers, organizers, management, all these things. So in the joint venture of all these things goes to a way where we can find the progress and overall development of our students. So every road, every responsibilities, what we get from our higher authorities, what are our assigned duties, this should be followed ethically. That's only the best way to achieve the goal. In our education, while completing our, as Indira Madam was saying that with different practices, organizing different events, we can create a culture having integrity. So these should be practiced practically. The ethics books which our management provide to all, it should not be on the paper, but in practice, if you follow everyone, maybe student, maybe teacher, maybe management and the guardians and the stakeholders, all the stakeholders of our education team, if they follow the ethics, our aim of education we will achieve as per our expectation. Thank you, madam. I was not expected to listen these types of topics anywhere, and you are introducing and also concluding every day very best topics. And thank you to all the technical team. Thank you to Ravi Shankar sir. Thank you to all. Thank you, madam.
Your support means a lot, and these are the topics which I have seen over the years, which are never highlighted. Because normally we are always focusing on children, children, and children, highlighting the issues and academics. So I thought, let us focus on teachers today. Let us see what is missing in the module of the teachers, because teachers too are learners, precious to our learners. So ethics and integrity have to be followed day in and day out. And before I take the leave, I would like to just speak about a little small poem that I have with me. This is for each and everyone, for parents, educators, for principals, everyone. Listen to your children. Listen to their poem. Take a moment to listen today to what your children are trying to say. Listen today, whatever you do, or they won't be there to listen to you. Listen to their problems. Listen to their needs. Praise their smallest trims. Praise their smallest deeds. Tolerate their chatter. Amplify their laughter. Find out what's the matter. Find out what they are after. Tell them what you love them every single day. And through scold them, be sure you hold them tight. When you scold them, always hug them tight, because that is what they need after a small shout. And tell them everything is going to be all right. And tomorrow is going to be bright. Take a moment to listen today to what your children are trying to say. Listen today, whatever you do, and they will come back to you to talk to you tomorrow. So this is my message for all the educators by this poem. Listen, and gratitude to my Idym team, Ravi sir. Gratitude to Amujuri sir for being the speaker for today, for highlighting the real issues. Thank you, Indira ma'am, for your real vision of the old is gold. Metkar sir, for your review of the session. That is always an icing on the cake. And for missing puzzles. Iman ma'am, for your last moment prompt delivery of the ethics and integrity in education. It was a real delight to hear from you. So gratitude to everyone, all the participants, the team behind the platform, always there to support us in their own hard work and efforts. So for me, before I end the session, two words from my side: professionalism and responsibility are the core keys to become the brand teacher, because your clothes may be brand, your sandals may be brand, your everything will be brand. So why not we imbibe these values of professionalism and responsibility to become the branded version of ourselves first, so that children learn from us what we are today, they will become tomorrow the same. Thank you so much, everyone. Good luck.
Ma'am, we have to follow the just like in Hindi, you can say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This sentence, this word can refer to create a wonderful such a environmental platform.
I think in India has this sanskar of saying
yes, संस्कारों का देश. Yes, ma'am. भारत जो है संस्कारों का देश, यही हमारा कल्चर. This is our culture and this is our ethics and principles which lead to Vishwa Guru across the globe in front of all the developed and other countries.
Today I just received a message on WhatsApp that showed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has I don't know, I just received this in the evening कि उन्होंने ये बोला है कि it is here. Having skills without degree will be enough in the future now. That is by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has said आने वाले generation के लिए, आने वाले time के लिए academics के साथ साथ skills are going to be the highlight of the education system. So what are those skills? हमारे संस्कार, हमारे ethics हमारे संस्कार से ही बनते हैं. तो जब तक हम संस्कार अच्छे नहीं देंगे, we always concentrate on the STEAM-based learning. So why not educators adopt this STEAM-based education, mentoring through the learning, blending with academics to show the best version of themselves. That is sanskar, talent, empathy, whatever you say, mastery of the art. ये सारे अगर हम STEAM में डाल दे और स्ट्रीम बेस्ड लर्निंग को साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, इंग्लिश, आर्ट्स और मैथ्स में ब्लेंड कर देंगे तो हमारे आने वाले जनरेशन के बच्चे सुपर अचीवर्स होंगे. So let us all work towards that goal. Let us work towards that.
That's why NEP provide. That's why NEP is introduced and provides a lot of wonderful platform to skill based, not only for a particular subject or stream based education. It also provides the skill based education to create a new India and a skill based India and Vishwaguru in the world.
And I will like to extend my thank you to all the speakers for creating wonderful PPT, because we may not provide, I think IDYM and we speakers may not provide the theoretical learning, rote learning, ye padho or answer de do, that is not there. हमारी जुबान, हमारे experiences, हमारे जो हमने देखा है और हमने सीखा है, that is the theoretical learning for the generation of today. That is why I always say, attend the session. You may not get what is missing in the other teacher training institutes, but you will get over here. Most have missed wonderful session. Most have missed the core takeaways of the sessions from here. Rachna ma'am also is here. Welcome, Rachna ma'am, please. Rachna ma'am, please take the stage for 2 minutes.
Yes, Sonal ma'am. I'm just listening today a little bit. Yeah, I was supposed to also speak, but little difference, and so my camera is off.
No problem. You can just speak. We will listen to you.
Yeah. Yes, very rightly said. All the great educators have said it very nicely. I really enjoyed the session, and it is true, as Sonal ma'am said just now, we should not miss any of these sessions. We might not get such live explanation as we get in these sessions, which is very, very true. Every single day which has been selected, and the topics very, very minutely selected by our mentor Sonal ma'am, and it's really nice listening to each one of them. Whether you listen it live, you're sitting and listening, it's amazing that you are getting to know many things. Like, for example, the ethics and integrity in education, such an important topic, and Indira ma'am had spoken so nicely about it. Of course, Amajuri sir always does that in a brilliant way, and he has all the pointers to be spoken in a very technical point also. So it was really nice listening. And Sonal ma'am, your cherry on the cake, like the brands which you spoke about, of course. Yes, the educators also, it's not necessary always to wear branded clothes and branded things. We should have a brand for ourselves. So that brand is very important. We should know as educators what are those brands which we should carry forth. So yes, these small things are very important in the ethics and integrity, how we enter the classroom, how we talk with our students. We become role models or the future role models for our kids. So how can we do that if we do not have our own ethics, if we do not follow certain things in our life and implement it? For example, improvise the newer things. And this is also very important. We accept the change. Not only that, I was teaching in this way only, I'm not acceptable to any other changes. I will do it in this way only. No, we should be always ready. Every day is a new beginning. So that is where we can integrate everything into the education. So it was a wonderful session. I enjoyed Sonal ma'am. And thank you so much, Iman ma'am, and also had added many points. Thank you. I really enjoyed. Sometimes it's very good to be a good listener. So I enjoyed today listening very nicely to all the great speakers who had joined. And thanks to, of course, IDYM platform, my favorite platform always. Whenever I am free, I am here in IDYM. So I never miss a chance to let go of this IDYM platform. So thank you so much, Sonal ma'am, for allowing me to speak today.
Rachna ma'am is latest but not last.
Thank you so much. I'm
নমস্কার কেমন আছো?
ভালো.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. So that is why I said this last poem जो है हमारी, कि आप आज नहीं सुनोगे तो कल आपके बच्चे आपके पास नहीं रहेंगे सुनने के लिए. So be there to listen to them. Be there to hear their little giggles, because time passes very fast. So you may need them in certain time. आज आप educator हो, कल वो educators होंगे आपके लिए. So let us be those kind of educators कि वो हमारे जैसे बने. अगर हम वैसे नहीं बनेंगे तो वो भी वैसे नहीं बनेंगे. That, as they say, vibes get transmitted. Even if you don't do, your actions के through से vibes transmit होते हैं. आप जो भी करोगे, जैसे भी करोगे, उनके डीएनए में ये धीरे धीरे ट्रेवल होता है और वो वैसे ही बनेंगे. और ये डीएनए जब ट्रेवल होता है तो ये जीन्स में जाता है ओवर द इयर्स. योर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में नॉट सी, बट द थर्ड जनरेशन विल बी डिफरेंट. तो अगर आप आज नहीं करोगे तो 2 जनरेशन के बाद वैसे नहीं बनेंगे. एंड इट इज अ प्रूवन फैक्ट, साइंटिफिकली इट इज अ प्रूवन फैक्ट. 1 generation may not be as same as the second one. आज हम अगर ऐसे हैं, अगर हम वैसे अपने बच्चों में डालेंगे, डीएनए में डालेंगे, वो देख रहे हैं, वो सुन रहे हैं, वो सब कुछ महसूस कर रहे हैं. So let us do that. Ethics is just about being yourself, being true to yourself, not just being human. To be a human is most expensive. So पहले be human, and automatically being human will be happening. So integrity is about doing the right thing at the right time, even when no one is looking. Thank you so much, everyone, for lovely inputs. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear sister.
Thank you so much, Rachna ma'am. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am and Iman ma'am.
Most welcome.